Hi, I'm Lara from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and welcome to day 3 of the Camilla Cowl Sew Along tutorial, sponsored by the fabulous So English Fabrics. We are ready to get started on our shoulder seams and our side seams. Let's not waste any time, let's jump right in. Okay, we are on step 6 of our tutorial, and what it says here is to finish the top edge of our front, this very top edge here, with a serger or an overcast stitch. Now, if your fabric doesn't roll or you don't have matching thread, you don't have to worry about this part. I've never had to do it, and everything's worked out just fine for me so far, but there's no reason why you can't go ahead and do that. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to fold. Remember the line that we marked at the beginning all the way across the top here? We are going to fold at the dotted cowl line. We're going to fold it wrong sides together. So we're going to fold it to the inside, which is the wrong side. So match up find your markings there. And if you forgot to mark, go ahead and do that. All right, now we're going to press that. We've got align the front and back shoulder seams right sides together. So these are the shoulder seams here. So when you lift this and you pull it this way, this is your cowl, okay? These are the actual shoulder seams. It's hard to tell that when you're just looking at the pattern piece. So you have it like this, right? So take these pieces, the side that the pleats are on, pick it up, and bring them to the top so you see this U-shaped here, this U-shaped cowl. All right, that's the first thing. Now we're going to take our back bodice and we're going to lay it on top here. All right, so let's work from this side. Now it says the neckline of the back shoulder seam will meet the front shoulder at the fold line of the cowl. So this is the fold line of the cowl. So you're going to meet this at the fold line of the cowl. First of all, let's do right sides together. Whoopsies, I'm glad I saw that now. Okay, so we're going to meet the edge here, first of all. And we're going to clip here for the cowl. Now there are even photos in the tutorial to help you. So we've matched it here. Let's undo it here. We match it here at the outside of the shoulder. Now we're working on the inside. So we're going to unfold this. We're going to match the back bodice, the inside of the shoulder here at the neckline, to our fold line, our cowl fold line marking, without having it folded, the cowl folded. Does that make sense? So we unfold this and this hangs open like that. So it's not going to go like this just yet. It's going to open. All right, let's do that on the other side. Maybe I can be more clear with the other. All right, this is the outside of the shoulder. We're going to meet those raw edges. Then we're going to unfold where we just pressed, and we're going to take the edge with the neckline, the inside of the shoulder there, and we're going to line that up with our fold line marking that we just pressed, but we're opening up that fold. So we have both of the cowls, the cowl fold unfolded, okay? So let's lay that back out. So it's unfolded. This is what it should look like. All right, and the picture shows you the exact same thing. That's what it should look like. We're going to fold this back like this, okay? So the right side of the facing is to the wrong side of the back bodice, just like this. Okay, and just line up those raw edges and hold it in place, and you're gonna repin or reclip. And make sure you scroll down if you're having a hard time seeing. Scroll down on page 22 of your tutorial and it shows you exactly what we're looking at here. So let's do it with the other side, and let's fold that self-facing back over. It's going to cover the neckline, and it's going to match right side of the self-facing to the wrong side of the back bodice. And this is what it will look like, okay? So, okay, now that we have it all pinned in place, we are at a point where we can use clear elastic. I know a lot of people don't want to use clear elastic, but it can be really helpful in stabilizing seams and just giving overall strength and structure to a particular seam. A lot of weight gets placed upon the shoulder seams, especially with the cowl. If you have a heavier knit fabric that you're using that just is kind of gets weighty, then I would highly suggest using clear elastic. I've not used it in all of the ones that I've made. It's not always necessary, but I did have a couple of double brush polys actually that were heavier than others, and I found that it just helped keep everything where it's supposed to be, especially when I made the dress. So you could definitely use clear elastic in each of the shoulder seams on this one. Once you've decided whether or not you're going to use clear elastic, it's time to sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance with a stretch stitch or with your serger across both of our shoulder seams. Okay, here we are. We've got both of our shoulder seams done. Now we're going to fold the shoulders, or the self-facing over the shoulder seam, just like this. And so when we look at the inside, let me turn this right side out. This is what you see. It's a perfectly finished neckline. It's pretty cool the way it's done. The first time I did it, I was amazed. I was like, ah, it's so beautiful. Once you fold that self-facing right side out, let me put it down here on the table so we can take a good look at it. Here we go. So there's your cowl. It's already folds at that fold line. You can see right here. So you don't even have a raw edge showing. It looks really beautiful, and everything is covered exactly as it should be. Super beautiful. I really love it. There you go. Just lovely. All right, now let's go back to right sides together. This is what I want to double check so you can see what the inside of the neckline looks like. All right, so these are your shoulder seams, and so when you fold this right sides out, it covers some of your shoulder seam. It's pretty cool. All right, and there's your cowl. All right, now it's time to work on our pockets. Okay, since I didn't have enough fabric to do a full dress, I still wanted to show you how to attach the pockets. So what I did is I cut two pieces of fabric to represent the front bodice and the back bodice, and I cut out via the pattern pieces the notches for the pocket placement. So I also have pockets right here. Okay, I've also cut the notches out for these as well. Let's work on the front. Okay, this is the front bodice. These are our pocket markings. All right, what you're going to do is place the straight edge of the pocket here. Here's the straight edge of the pocket. Right sides together with the bodice front or the maternity bodice front, lining up the pocket markings. You either notch those out or you mark them. So you're lining them up just like this. Okay, you can see I've got my notches, and you're clipping them in place. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our sewing machine and we're going to sew the pocket to our garment with a stretch stitch, zigzag, or serger, and then you would repeat it on the other side of the front bodice, so you have two pockets, right? So I'm going to sew that. Okay, so here we are. We have sewn our pocket to the bodice, and if you open it up, we got our nice little pocket. All right, now we're gonna do this on the bodice back as well. So now we're going to open our pocket, which we did, and we're gonna press the seam allowance toward the pocket. Grab your iron and press it toward the pocket. Once you have pressed the seam allowance of the pocket towards the pocket, you're going to go back to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch the pocket to the seam allowance. Okay, You could use a straight stitch, you can use a stretch stitch, whatever, but you're gonna stitch this seam allowance to the pocket. And once you finish that, it's time to move on to our side seams. So now that we've stitched that, we can attach our front bodice and back bodice side seams together. And I'm showing you for the pocket first. You're going to put your bodices, your front and back bodices, right sides together, okay? So this is your front bodice and then your back bodice, right sides together. Start pinning and up here at the underarm, and I'll show you on the shirt here in a second. So you're gonna pin and clip here. You're gonna line up your pockets. You're gonna pin and clip from the underarm all the way down to the pocket, around the pocket, and all the way down to the bottom of your dress on the sides, on both sides, both of the side seams, okay? So if you're just doing the shirt, it'll look like this. Here are our side seams. Here's the underarm, here's the underarm. And I'm gonna line up these raw edges. And I'm gonna clip all the way down. And I'm gonna do that on the other side. Okay, now that I'm finishing that up, I'm going to head to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch my side seam. Okay, so here we are. Let's give this give our side seams a good press. Okay, here we are. Isn't that beautiful? I'm really excited about it. Thus ends day 3 of our Camilla Cowl sew along. We completed our shoulders and our side seams and everything looks beautiful. We are ready to move on to our sleeves or no sleeves tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye.